Scotland's under-21 star Kevin Thomas got the clincher for Hearts in a third-round replay against Clydebank. Rangers' path to round 4 was smoother. Basil Bowley's first-ever Scottish Cup goal as the Foreign Legion put them in command against Hamilton. Magnificent Edinburgh Castle, and across the ancient city to Tynecastle, home of Heart of Midlothian. They haven't won a major honour in 32 years. They want to put it right, but the problem is tonight they face the mighty Rangers, favourites for the Tennent's Scottish Cup. Fourth round action live tonight on Sky Sports. And a very good evening to you. The pick of the Tennent's Scottish Cup fourth round tonight. Hearts trying to create a cup shock and keep alive their only realistic remaining hope of a trophy this season. But it is bound to be tough against Scotland's dominant club side. Rangers haven't lost to Hearts in 3.5 years. And even after 26 cup triumphs, Rangers' appetite for trophies seems insatiable. We're also bringing you all the goals from the fourth round matches played over the weekend. And here to share the action, I'm delighted to say we have Sandy Clarke, who numbered West Ham, Rangers and Hearts among his clubs as a player. Indeed, he was a member of the most successful Hearts team of recent years, and until last summer, also their manager. Now he's at Hamilton. Great to have you along, Sandy. And Rangers fans would probably prefer to see Ali McCOIST preparing for the game tonight at Tynecastle rather than here in the studio, but the team's loss is our gain. Of course, as usual, welcome to Ali. Whose loyalties for you tonight, Sandy?
Well, hopefully it'll be a good game of football for the punters, especially the guys who can't get to the game tonight because of the crowd restrictions at Tynecastle. Really, I want to see a good game, and I've got a wee good feeling for Hearts yet, to be honest with you.
Ali, you'd be very disappointed, presumably, not to be playing again tonight, and you're still stuck on 299 goals. When are you going to get to 300?
Well, it seems like an eternity, doesn't it? But hopefully when I get fit, it's not too bad. I had the plaster on for a week, get it taken off, and I'm looking forward to getting back into the swing of things, maybe a couple of weeks. But as Sandy said, it's going to be a great game.
I've got a little bit of bad news for you here. I don't think you've seen this yet, but this is the moment when you sustained your latest injury against Dundee United. Have a look at this. What happened?
Well, it's just the left ankle. It looks as though I've caught it on the way down. I'm very, as you say, it's the first time I've seen it. I'm very surprised I'm going in there in the first place. But I think the goalkeeper maybe landed in my left ankle after the initial collision, and maybe I've jarred it a little bit. But it certainly feels a lot better now, and that was a painful memory of that.
You've had an awful run with injuries, really, in the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's all stemmed from when I broke my leg over in Portugal for the Scotland national team. I've had a hernia after that, and then a torn calf muscle, and now the ankle ligaments. If I can take anything from it, it's just that they've all been different injuries, and there's not a lot I could have done about them.
Are you spending as much time as you would normally do with the Rangers squad when you're in this situation?
But we're doing a lot of work, obviously, in the gym, because running's running's always a problem with me, Sandy, I'll tell you. But we're doing a lot of work in the gym. But it's heartbreaking when you see lads go out to train in the morning, you've got to stay in the gym. But it's not too distant future we're back playing.
Well, it's been business as usual for Rangers without you, hasn't it?
Playing well. We had a bit of a hiccup against Aberdeen a couple of weeks ago, but to be fair, the lads have played well, and that was the first defeat, I think, since October or something, a good couple of months, and hopefully we can maintain the form. We had a good round against Hamilton in the Cup. We played well, won 3-0, and played very, very well, and hopefully we can take that on to today's game. Right,
we're finishing off the fourth round of the Tennent's Scottish Cup tonight. Now, Ali's injury, as we saw, came against Dundee United, and the cup holders Dundee United are very interested observers in what develops here at Tynecastle tonight, because they play the winners of the tie between Hearts and Rangers. Let's see Dundee United's progress, shall we, gents, through the fourth round stage at the weekend. At Christie Park, the Highland League champions Huntly had done so well to reach this far, but Dundee United giving a highly professional display. Davy Bowman's cross there, headed in by Craig Brewster, a looping header. How much of a threat is this fella Brewster in the air, Sandy?
Yeah, he's very, very good. You can see from the goal there, it's a great header. It's a strong challenge against him, but he still gets the accuracy with the power. It's a great finish. He's a very, very talented player.
Did you see them slipping up here at all in this tie?
No, it was always going to be a wee bit dodgy because of the tight pitch and the crowd's against you, and the crowd's almost right on top of you. But they're a very professional team, and they've got very, very good players, and it would have been a real surprise if they'd lost that one.
Right, here's the second goal coming up now. Dave Hanna, shot crashing off the crossbar, and the second goal here Maurice Malpass on hand. When was the last time Maurice Malpass scored a goal?
Well, I'll tell you what, he doesn't score too many, Maurice, I must admit. And, but he took that one away well. I don't know what he was doing in the first place, actually. Usually there's a nosebleed up there.
Sad for John Gardner, the keeper there, missing that cross. We believe it's Malpass' first goal in 3 years. Will it be another 3 till he gets another one, son?
Well, he's a very talented player. He's an out-and-out defender, to be fair, and he organises things at the back. But he's scored 1 or 2 over the years. He's got a very good shot, to be honest with you. And I'm sure he'll look to score, you know, in a shorter time this time.
That's an astonishing miss by Craig Brewster.
It wasn't as easy as it looked, quality. It serves him right, actually, for scoring the winner against us in the cup final last year.
Probably from even closer, in fairness.
I'll tell you what, you're better doing it when you're 2-0. It is unbelievable, actually. That's the first time I've seen it. You're better doing it when you're up 2-0 and getting beat 2-0, I suppose.
Well, as these highlights are indicating, Dundee United did seem to have just too much firepower all round, and this is the 3rd goal. Jaron Nixon involved here, and Dave Hanna on the end of it to make it 3. Incidentally, we heard from Ivan Golac. He was never short of a word, it seems, but he said after the game that he believes Nixon's worth £10 million in the transfer market. Any comments on that, Sandy?
Well, I don't know anybody's going to pay £10 million for him. He's certainly a very, very talented player. He's exciting to watch, but so far he's been very, very inconsistent. But £10 million, I think Ivan's, you know, he's got his salesman hat on.
Consolation goal for Huntly then by Martin Stewart, incidentally once a trialist at Dundee United, and that was his 5th in Huntly's Cup run, but that's it for the last non-league team in the Cup. And how well they've done to reach this phase.
Oh, marvellous. I mean, I think over the past few years, with all honesty, I think they've been the best Highland League side. And there was some great runs and some great performances in the Cup, and that was a good performance again.
Dundee United seemed on those brief highlights there, Sandy, to have given a very professional account of themselves away from home.
They got the cup fever last year, and I'm sure that they'll believe they're going to win the cup again this year. And whoever, you know, gets a result tonight are in for a very, very difficult game in the next round against United.
Certainly the manager seems to think so.
Well, I find it very, very strange, because I don't think Jaron Nixon could have had a good game, because he was worth 12 million a couple of weeks ago, according to Ivan. So maybe a quiet game by his own standards, Jaron Nixon, that day.
But Golak's parting shot as he left Christie Park on Saturday was to say, we'll see you all at 4:45 on May the 27th at Hampden Park with the trophy in our dressing room.
I think he's fantastic, I really do. I mean, he's a breath of fresh air. I think I take some of his comments with a pinch of salt, but very, very entertaining, some of them. And he won the Cup last year, so good luck to him. 1 or 2
goals around at the weekend, next to Hampden Park, Celtic against Meadowbank, and all the goals in this one in the first half, and a good goal-scoring return for Celtic, their fans would say, for a change. Willie Faulkner involved in the build-up to the first one, laying it off for Pierre van Hooijdonk, the big 6'5" import from NAC Breda. Have you seen much of him? You must have done, Ali, in Glasgow.
Yeah, he looks good. He's given them a new dimension up front, and he scored his first goal. I think it was against the Hearts. It was a similar shot to this, just in the edge of the box, and he's not frightened to have a go at all, and he's certainly got hold of that one. That was a great strike.
Well, I've heard the Celtic coaching staff saying that they feel all season they've been providing ammunition, but they haven't had a man to finish the job.
Well, that's actually, I think I'm correct in saying that's actually the first time they've scored more than 2 goals in a game this season. And for a team like Celtic, who are, you know, generally known as one of the more attractive sides going forward, I find that unbelievable.
Mark McAnally's cross here, sorry to interrupt you. Now that is a classic piece of centre-forward play, and this time Faulkner picks up the pieces from Van Hooijdonk.
Yeah, the two of them, they're blending well together. Van Hooijdonk is a big lad, over 6 foot, but he's very, very good in the ground. In fact, what I've seen of him, he's not that great in there, although that's a brilliant header, and Wally Faulkner's doing his job. It's Alan McCoist's goal there, isn't it?
Any player of his size is going to prove a handful, isn't he, Sonny?
Yeah, he's because he's got the mixture. You know, he will be a threat in here simply because he's so tall, and you can see his control and his touch and his finish there. He's an all-round very, very talented player.
And that made it 3 still in the first half. Van Hooijdonk finishing off Tosh McKinley's excellent through ball there. The other thing about him is he seems to be so physically powerful as a runner.
Yeah, he's definitely a big, strong boy, but as Sandy says, he's got a great touch for a big lad. And that was a great finish. He took a lovely touch and just side-footed it by the goalkeeper. A good goal.
Well, Celtic went looking for more in the second half. McKinley going in on a 1-2 there with Brian McLaughlin not quite coming off. And Celtic's fans obviously were hoping for a Van Hooijdonk hat-trick. Not quite to be, and this is just about as close as he came in the second half.
Yeah, I'd actually expect him to score that one there, yeah.
Is this big man the last piece in the jigsaw that Celtic were looking for, Ali?
No, I wouldn't say so, but honestly, I think they've still got other departments that Tommy Burns and Billy Stark will be working on. I think he's just the first signing. I think it's common knowledge that Celtic want to strengthen their pool. I think he's the first signing of a few.
On to Rugby Park now. A most convincing win for Kilmarnock against East Fife on Saturday. Here are the main events. And Kilmarnock going 1-up when Ali Mitchell made the run and squared it back for Steve Maskery. What sort of cup chances have Kilmarnock got, Sandy?
I think they're the dark horses this year. You know, they were through a difficult spell at the start of the season, but that lad there, Steve Maskery, scored a few goals recently. They believe they've got a great chance against Celtic because they've had good performances this season against them, and they could get there. Well,
my question to you would also be, have they surprised themselves a little bit by how well they've done in League and Cup so far this season?
Yeah, I think losing Tommy Burns was a big blow to them, but I think Alec Totten, in his credit, he's took time to convince them, but now he's got them convinced and they're firing on all cylinders.
That was Mark Riley finishing off the second. The build-up work here. Tom Brown, incidentally, having a shot saved there. In fact, I mean, 2 efforts at goal, really.
I think that sums up Kilmarnock. You know, the never say die attitude. You know, they're maybe not the most talented team in the world, but they make up for that with sheer effort and grit, determination.
Well, they took us to 2 games in the semis last year at Sandy, and maybe we're a little bit unlucky in the first game. But as you say, Alec Taunton's done a fantastic job. I've got to be honest, they've surprised me. Been really honest with you, they have surprised me. I thought they might struggle a little bit with the loss of Tommy Burns.
There's Maskery's second. Tom Brown, incidentally, in the Scotland B squad for the game against Northern Ireland this week. A couple of efforts blocked from him. Maskery on hand to get his
As Sandy said, it's another vital goal from Steve Maskery. They were struggling a little bit down at Capello, Morton, the previous round, and it was 2 goals, but Steve Maskery saw them through.
Free kick expert at work there, Tommy Black. The shot deflected off the East Fife defender, but he won't mind about that, will he?
He's got an incredible record this season, actually, Sandy, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he scored 4 or 5.
He's got a marvellous left foot, and if you, as they say, if you don't buy a raffle ticket, you don't win a prize. A deflection, the ball's in the back of the net.
Well, the Rugby Park faithful were well happy with the performance, but they were looking for Maskery to complete the hat-trick, and sadly, for him not quite to be, but that was the only downer on an excellent day's work by Kilmarnock. And of course now it sets up a fascinating cup tie in the next round. We'll show you the draw incidentally in full in just a moment or two, but the winners here to play Celtic. Tommy Burns, new club against his old club, as the feud seems to rumble on with no sign of peace breaking out between the clubs, Sandy.
Yeah, I'm sure the feud, if you want to call it that, is at board level rather than supporters or players level. The players won't be too interested in that. You know, as I said earlier, Kilmarnock have played well against Celtic this year. They won't be frightened to go into Hampden to match them again. And to me, it's a very, very good tie.
How has Alex? You mentioned Ali that Alex Totten has changed the style of play. What are the main things he's asked Kilmarnock to?
Well, I felt Tommy Burns did a fantastic job first of all at Kilmarnock, but I felt they were a side which worked very, very hard, tirelessly, and got behind the ball and worked, as I said, made it difficult for teams to play against them. I seem to see Kilmarnock this year playing with a little bit more flair and possibly a little bit more entertaining. And as I said, I'm eating humble pie because I thought they would struggle a little bit due to the loss of Tommy Burns, but Alec Taunton's turned them around and did a fantastic job. And as you say, that's going to be a great tie because there's no doubt about it. There's a little bit of ill feeling still between the clubs, whether they like it or not. There is with the departure of Tommy Burns, and it's going to make a very, very interesting tie.
Who would your money be on that one, Sandy?
I think Celtic have went so long without a trophy that they will, you know, believe that the Scottish Cup could be theirs this year, especially the way the draw is panning out. I've got to fancy Celtic in that one. They'll be very, very close.
Ali, any thoughts about it?
I have got a lot of thoughts about it. I think, as I said, it's going to be a great tie, and I'm not so sure whether Celtic will go into the next round. I think Celtic will have to win it first game, because I think if it goes to a replay, I would fancy Killie to beat them down there. I think if Celtic have got to win, they'll have to win the first game. Thanks to Ali and to Sandy. More in just a moment when you come back. The action from the remaining ties over the weekend so far. But this is our venue tonight, Tynecastle. In a moment or two, we show you an historic cup upset when you return. And in the build-up to the game, we're looking back to all the fourth-round action to take place over the weekend in the company of Sandy Clarke and Ali McCOIST. And we've seen how Celtic and one or two of the other big-name clubs, including the holders Dundee United, have progressed. Now for the clubs from the First Division. And first up here, Dundee against Raith Rovers. And Raith Rovers winning away from home here, despite going behind, as George Shaw made it 1-0 for Dundee like this. At this stage, Sandy, would you have put your money on the home team to come through?
No, not really. Jimmy Nicholl is doing exceptionally well at Raith Rovers. They've got a never-say-die spirit. And if they lost the goal to anyone, you wouldn't write them off, to be honest with you.
And sure enough, in the second half, they did turn it around, and they get to 1-1 thanks to Ali Graham with this equaliser.
Yeah, he's a big lad. It's a very good ball in the box, actually. Maybe the defender could be a wee bit caught out there, but for a big lad, Ali's took it down and controlled it well, and it's a great finish.
From a striker's point of view, Ali, how would you rate this?
Great goal. He takes it really well in his chest. He sees the defender's going to miss it, takes it in his chest, and it's just a wee dink over the goalkeeper. Great goal.
Is he generally that sort of composed finisher?
He's a big, strong boy, and he's good in the air. But most of his goals, I would say, are powerful goals, headers. A lot of them are headers, but that was a great goal. He took that really well there.
Well, the cup tie's in the balance at this stage, and you have to ask questions perhaps about the Dundee defending. Jason Rowbottom, the English import, credited with the goal.
I think if we're going to be fair to the goalkeeper here, I think he estimates the boy's going to get a touch here, but he doesn't. And he can't commit himself to see if a lad gets a touch and he doesn't, and it's too late that time, it's back of the net. But Jimmy Nichols had a phenomenal job. I think we were talking earlier, I think that's his 9th game, and they've won in a row.
Yeah.
And he's already got the League Cup in the bank, the Coca-Cola Cup in the bank. He's brought them back into the promotion race. I think they're joint top. As I said, 9 in a row, and that's a great result for him.
When you were playing with Nicholl, did you see him as management potential for the future?
Yeah, he's different class. He's absolutely tremendous at coaching and talking to people, and man-to-man managing and handling people. I think he's different class. Now, there was never any doubt in my mind that he'd go to the top in management.
What sort of a footballing man is he? Does he like a pure style of game?
Oh, he loves the game getting played the right way, and his belief is, you know, football. And Jimmy first and foremost was a very, very, very good footballer. I think he's got over 80 caps for Northern Ireland, and he liked to play the game the right way, and he'll make sure his teams play the game the right way.
What chances have they got of getting up among the... obviously they're doing it in cup terms already, Sandy, but in the longer term, obviously Jimmy is thinking about developing Raith Rovers as a top-flight club. Do you see that he's got the wherewithal to do that? Yeah, without a doubt. As Alex said, there are 9 games in a row, victories. It's an incredible record, and being involved in the First Division with Hamilton, we played against them recently, and they didn't play that well. We did well against them, but they had battling qualities and organisation, and I think they're probably favourites now to go up. How difficult is it for the likes of Raith Rovers when there's a finite pool of talent in Scottish football, and the big clubs with the big checkbooks are going to get the best of the talent? How tough does that make it for Jimmy Nicholl to go out and get good young players? Well, obviously it's money in the bank for him. His young players are certainly big assets to the club now, but it must be a happy place to be at the moment. This team spirit they've got, they've won the cup. They wouldn't be in a rush to sell anyone, and the players wouldn't be in a rush to leave. I'm sure Jimmy can get his money in whenever he feels it's the right time to do that. But if the board support him, as you know, support the club properly, then I think they'll go for promotion first. That's the most important thing to them. More from Ali McCOIST and Sandy Clarke in just a moment or two. We're in the build-up to our live action tonight from Tynecastle. Hearts against Rangers, Tennant Scottish Cup, 4th round. Let's have a word with the home boss. The Hearts manager, Tommy McClean, is with Davy Provan.
Tommy, you had injury doubts this morning over Neil Berry, Dave McPherson and Colin Miller. Can you give us the news on them?
Yeah, well, Neil Berry's out. You know, it's a rib injury and it's affecting his breathing, so it's too risky to go with him. But the other 2 obviously have came through the tests, and they'll be in place.
Now, you told us earlier on in the week that you would approach this match positively, that there was no point in you coming here just to stop Rangers play. Is that still the game plan?
Yeah, well, I honestly think that really, if you look at the record at Ibrox, it's not too impressive, and Tynecastle, we've been reasonably good, so it's really important that we try and get something from tonight's game.
Brian Laudrup, arguably the biggest danger to you tonight. Will you man-mark him?
Well, I think we'll wait and see later on in that one, rather than give things away at this stage. He is a very important player for Rangers, and he's got a lot of quality about him, but the most important thing is really that our players function to the best of their ability.
Enjoy the game, Tom, thanks.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
Tommy McClean with Davy Provan, and absolutely no sentimentality there at all, even though he was an outstanding Rangers player going back.
Oh, he was a great player.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
And of course he was management material at Rangers with John Gregg. He was John Gregg's assistant manager. So he knows, obviously knows both clubs inside out now. Presumably the best thing for Tommy McClean in the build-up to this game was Rangers' defeat last weekend against Aberdeen. Well, not necessarily, Paul. I wouldn't really go along with that because it could backfire against them, actually. I think Rangers coming off a defeat will be even more up for it. They'll be geared for it, and this is a tremendous cup tie. And the fact that Sandy told us earlier on that the Hearts' record against Rangers, they haven't beaten them in so long, will work. No matter what Andy says, it'll be at the back of the Hearts players' mind, and it'll be very important for him to try and put that away. But the Rangers players will be up for it because this is a big, big game. OK, well, to take the devil's advocate position here, from the point of view of the Hearts players, they've seen Rangers put together this long unbeaten run, and suddenly Aberdeen find a way to beat them, Ali. So now are they going to look at that game and think, well, Aberdeen can do it, and if we can do the same thing, that means we've got a chance? Well, that's a point as well, but if you, I mean, you can look at it and take it a step further with Stenhouse. You're just being loyal to your club, and that's no, of course I am. But I'm saying with STENHOUSEMUIR beating Aberdeen, that must make STENHOUSEMUIR the best team in Scotland at the moment. And I must admit, I got a dig in the ribs off Sandy on there because the actual score against Hamilton was 3-1, because Hamilton scored late on against us, but I was in running the bath for the boys.
OK, let's go on with the cup action from the weekend, shall we? We've seen how Raith won away from home at Dundee, and it does guarantee an all-First Division game in the next round. Another all-First Division tie coming up now, Airdrie against Dunfermline. Remember, Raith and Airdrie also met in the Coca-Cola Scottish League Cup semi-final, but Airdrie against Dunfermline here, and Kenny Black, the former Rangers and Hearts player, taking a free kick headed on by Tommy McIntyre there, and Jimmy Boyle hitting the crossbar. Close thing.
Yep, Airdrie are up there. This was a cup tie between two of the top sides in the first division, and Airdrie have got a great cup record in recent years in both competitions.
Here they go in front through Steve Cooper.
Takes it well. Obviously very pleased with it.
Yeah, sadly we missed his celebratory
I'd like to
somersault away to the left, but we got the idea.
Yeah, it's a great finish. He's under pressure there by the central defender. He's took his time, he's placed it away well. It's a great result. It's my home team, so...
Is it really?
Yeah, quite happy with that one.
Well, delighted for you, Sandy, that they got this second and decisive goal from Andy Smith, who many people will remember scoring in a cup final against Rangers a few years back.
He's got an incredible record, Andy, that he came on, I think, a minute before that as substitute and scored, and he's done that on numerous occasions this season and last season.
And we got the celebration this time as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was like his twin brother he was holding up there, actually.
It was so slow, it was you, Alistair, for a minute.
It was spot the difference there for a minute, wasn't it? But Andy came on in the cup final against us a few years back for Airdrie and scored a wonderful goal, didn't he?
They're a great cup team. Alan McDonald's got, he's very much a fire and determined character, and his teams are geared for one-off situations, and Alan's very, very good at it. And I tell you, I wouldn't like to play them in the quarter-final. No,
indeed. Who would your money be on that one then?
Wraith.
Yes?
I'd have to say Wraith, just because they're an informed team at the moment. Having said that, Alan McDonald's sides always play very well, and they've got a great record in cup competitions. But I mean, with Jimmy, they're on a roll just now. I'd have to stick with Wraith.
Sandy?
Just you sit in the fence, Alistair, really. Take your time and make your mind up. It'll be a close game, but as I said, like we said earlier, if Wraith are going to win it, they'll have to win at Kirkcaldy. I think if Airdrie get them back to the local town, I think they'll maybe do it there.
Wonderful incentive as well, because it guarantees a First Division representation at the semi-final stage. And as we all know, time and again, in one semi-final, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. I mean, you just have to look at the other cup this year. I mean, it's unbelievable. Wraith Rovers beating Celtic after extra time and penalties. I mean, it just shows you in the cup anything can happen.
Right, on we go now to Ochilview. Now, in fairness to Stenhousemuir, this is not a place that many people, certainly in England, will have seen much of, but they've created an historic cup win at the weekend. And Ali, please try and keep the smile off your face. Aberdeen, in blue and gold, incidentally, and looking nervous all through the game, really. The uncertainty obvious here early on. Adrian Sprott, Ali will remember him from Rangers Cup tie with Hamilton.
1987, I think it was.
Missing an early chance. And Roy Aitken, you can see the strain there.
I think that sums up Aberdeen's season so far. As you said, they look very nervous and they're not sure how they're going to do, and really they've got a wee problem there at the moment.
I think possibly even the bigger shock, rather than the shock of the result itself, was the game, the way the game was played, because Stenhousemuir played very, very well.
Yes. But poor Theo Snell just seemed to have an afternoon to forget as well. And Tom Steele makes full profit out of that.
I think if you look at that one, the lad challenging here, the centre forward, was a lad called Miller Matheson. Miller's around the 30 age now, and he's a very, very talented player. He's a big lad, he's quick, he's aggressive, as you've seen there, and he's got the goal for him.
Big strong lad as well, he's a farmer.
Oh yeah, he's a farmer, yeah. Tommy Steele, it's amazing. He didn't get the same bonus as the rest of the lads, you know, he only got half a sixpence.
Second goal, though. He won't mind.
Yeah.
It's an amazing result, and you look at the fans in the background there.
That's cup football, though, isn't it? You know, it's incredible. It's a very small club, but they're a very, very good club. And everyone outside Aberdeen are absolutely delighted for them.
How big a cup upset is that, Sandy?
It's massive. You know, but if you looked at the game beforehand, I've seen Stenhousemuir playing St Johnstone in the previous round. They won 4-0, and really they deserved to win 4-0. And Aberdeen have got their obvious problems at the moment, change of manager recently, and it was on the cards. And I think on the day Stenhousemuir went for them and were very successful. Did you see it as a possibility, Ali?
No, I didn't. I honestly I'm still numbed. It's an unbelievable result. It shook Scottish football to the foundations. I mean, nobody fancied Stenhousemuir to beat Aberdeen out with maybe the Stenhousemuir's player and management. And we saw the game there. They won in merit, and deservedly so. But Aberdeen definitely have got problems up there at the moment.
How do you see Roy Aitken fixing things up from here?
He's got a big task in his hands, because they're in a predicament as well in the position they're in the league, and that wouldn't have done morale in the camp any good at all. So he's definitely got a hard job in his hands. But Roy, the one thing, Roy's got great fighting qualities, and he'll give it his best shot. That's for sure.
But they're going to be needed now, aren't they?
Oh yeah. I mean, we're just going to find out. You know, he'll bring the best out in the players, and we'll see how many of them stand up and be counted.
We were hoping to be speaking to the winning manager, Terry Christie of Stenhousemuir, but he's a very busy man, we've heard. He's a headmaster and couldn't be with us tonight because he's got a parent-teacher meeting. Right, now, while the Shocks and the Minnows were beating the big boys, the big game of the afternoon was two of the top three from the Premier Division, Hibernian against Motherwell meeting at Easter Road, and this is what happened. The home team getting the call here, but much controversy around this game. Now, Motherwell with a confident appeal for a penalty early on, this alleged handball against Keith Wright. And I think we'll see it again in just a moment or two, and the referee, Hugh Dallas,
Hugh Dallas. I seem like this game was quite a physical game as well.
Yes. We'll see it now from the low angle. You can make your own mind up about this. Sandy is a player who played in these positions.
Well, it looks a bit dodgy there, doesn't it? You know, whether it's deliberate, I'm not sure. But the referee, you expect him maybe to see that and judge at the time.
Right, Hibernian go in front. They survive that scare and go down the other end. Darren Jackson's through ball. Kevin Harper running free.
Yeah.
And Stevie Woods, the goalkeeper, racing out.
Yeah, a bit disappointed for the goalkeeper there. The lad Harper's very, very quick. It's a great ball from Darren Jackson. He's onto it like a flash, and the goalkeeper's actually made his mind up for him, made it very easy for him. Stevie Woods will be disappointed with that one.
Yeah, he makes Harper's mind up. It's a great finish, all I say, to be honest with you. But I don't think his keeper should have been out there.
Now, Jim Leighton is still as sharp as ever, and the proof of this, saving Billy Davis' shot here. Let's have a look at this.
Jim's playing very, very well. He's very confident, very relaxed, and he organises the people in front of him. There you go.
That's a great save.
He's shown fantastic character in his career.
Unbelievable. I mean, with injury problems just now with the goalkeepers like Andy Gorham, who's to say Jim doesn't get an international recall? Yeah. I mean, he's having that good a season. He really is playing well, and that's a superb save.
When he went back to Scotland, did people think, well, that'll be Jim coming back for a year or two and then he'll be into coaching?
Well, knowing Jim, not really, Sandy. I mean, one thing, he's a competitor, works hard at his game and wants to do well, and he's certainly doing really well.
Here's the second one, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. And it caused plenty of arguments here.
Yeah, there was a dispute whether it was offside. Yeah.
Springing the offside trap. Pat McGinley's the player who put the ball in the net, but it's Mickey Weir's through ball, incidentally. Harper springing the offside trap here, and he squares it for Pat McGinley.
I think there was a bit of a dispute over whether the lad Harper was onside when the ball went wide.
That would be an understatement, certainly.
Yeah, but certainly I think, you know, I seen it at the weekend, and when you got the proper angle, it looked as if he was okay. And Pat McGinley, it's a great follow-up. He's very, very good at that and scores a goal that finishes the game.
There's Alec McLeish. Things were about to get a lot worse for Motherwell. The referee Dallas consulting the linesman, and Brian Martin is called from right over the other side of the pitch. Here you go, Brian. Yeah. Sadly for you, it's not a yellow card, it's a red card. And Motherwell were furious about it.
Yeah, but that disappoints me, I must admit, because you know, I don't know what Brian said to him, but I think referee and linesman have got to understand the pressures that's involved on the park, and it's a spur of the moment thing. And I'm sure if he said something to the linesman, Brian would be the first to apologise. And it sticks and stones, isn't it?
But we can confirm that.
Oh, he's on all right. I don't think there's any doubt about it. He's onside. Yeah. In fact, he's not even level. If you're level, you're on. And I think he's half a yard goal side of him. I don't think there's any doubt about that in my mind.
Are one or two of the big clubs from elsewhere looking at Harper? Ali?
He's very, very quick. We played him in he played in one of the comeback games in the reserves. He played wide in the right, and in my opinion he wasn't just as effective as he is through the middle. He's very, very quick, got a lot of pace, and he's got an eye for goal. Yeah, he's doing well.
What comeback was that, Ali? Was that the fourth or the fifth this season?
I've had a few comebacks, okay.
The lad, he's only a kid, he's only a young lad, and he's not that experienced yet, but the talent is there. But Alec Miller will be well aware of his abilities, and I'm sure he'll want to hold on to him for the future. Right,
so the goals there from the big ties over the weekend, and here's the draw as it came out at 5 o'clock on Saturday evening for the quarter-finals of the Tennant Scottish Cup. Celtic with home advantage against Kilmarnock, well, Hampden. Raith Rovers against Airdrie. Hearts or Rangers, who meet tonight in about, 25 minutes from now, live on Sky Sports, and Dundee United, the holders, wait to find out who they'll meet in the quarter-finals, and Stenhousemuir against Hibernian. Leading scorers in the Cup. Martin Stewart of Huntly will take no further part, but what a year he's had, and he scored 5 before going out of the Cup. Steve Maskery of Kilmarnock and A.D. Spott of Stenhousemuir of 4 apiece. Miller Matheson of Stenhousemuir with 3.